Hey everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt and we have an awesome video for today with some awesome announcements coming up for Shiba Inu. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for daily SHIB vids, and let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys haven't seen what has been going on, this comes straight from Kraken Exchange here over on Twitter, and these guys are pretty big. They have almost 1 million followers, and I remember Kraken being around even back in the day when it was almost impossible to get dogecoin. It wasn't listed on just about any app of any kind, and Kraken, I remember back in the day being one of the first places I used to look before I actually started trading crypto, and they've been around for a little while, since May 2013, and as you guys can see with Kraken, they only have around 50 plus cryptocurrencies. So when you check out their app here, you guys can see by Bitcoin on the go, there are 50 available on the app. Now this is a kind of small amount because with a lot of other exchanges like Binance and Gate.io and KuCoin, they have 1 million of them, and that's fine and all, but it gives you a little bit more of a variety with what you want to invest in. Now, the idea here is to get on these popular exchanges like Robinhood, like Kraken, that do not have as many options and are therefore a little bit more sparse in what you actually invest in. And obviously, by being more sparse, you will have a higher susceptibility to investing in SHIB, Doge, Ethereum, whatever coin you're into, because there are less options out there. So Kraken Exchange here tweets out today, everyone asks when SHIB, but no one ever asks how's SHIB, with a little meme here. And what's funny is they actually hid a lot of comments on this post. I really don't understand why, but there are a lot of comments here that are talking about, of course, this guy asks, are you listing it? And that gets hidden. So there are a lot of people here talking about the idea that they will possibly list it here over on the Kraken Exchange. And this would be huge. This would be great. And although Kraken isn't the next Robinhood, the more options, the better. You know, there are people out there who legitimately only use Kraken, as there are people who only use Coinbase and only use Robinhood and all that. So I definitely do think that Kraken doing this here would be an absolutely great opportunity. Speaking of great opportunities, if you guys want to get started trading stocks and crypto, including SHIB, you can check out Webull, guys. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do. You guys get started over there, literally take a couple minutes, and you'll get a couple of free stocks, and so will I. So I always do appreciate that. If you guys want to support the channel, it does mean a lot to me. When it comes down to it, guys, SHIB here on the day is doing quite well. And the reason why I say quite well, even with, you know, a sort of lackluster growth in percentage points, is the fact that it has managed to sustain itself a little bit above 70. And there are a lot of people out there who might be going, oh my goodness, well, I bought it at 85. You know, why would it matter if it sustains itself above 70? And when it comes down to it, guys, the goal here is to make sure that as many people who bought anywhere from here to here are satisfied. And I think the majority of people would be satisfied if it leveled off at 70. Because if you bought all the way at the top and were essentially what in layman's terms is the bag holder, if you bought at 88, you might still be alright. If it's in the 70s, you'd have lost a little bit, but nothing tragic. And if you bought anywhere on the way up, this would be great for you because you would be in the green. You would have made some money here from SHIB, and that is fantastic. Now, if you guys remember, we've been talking a lot recently about what this pattern really looks like, and there are a few options out there that I've been mentioning to death in a lot of videos, and really, when it comes down to it, there is no satisfactory answer. We could try to wedge this in as many ways as possible, but there really isn't anything concrete, and that's a bit of an issue because ideally for some kind of symmetrical wedge like this, it would be filled out a little bit more, and obviously the more filled out it is, the more true to the original pattern it is, making it easier to predict. This doesn't really want to behave like that. You could try a, you know, falling wedge, a rising wedge, a symmetrical wedge, whichever wedge you want to try, it doesn't really want to fit in any of them. The only sort of red flag here was the rounding at the top here that a lot of people had some issue with. So this rounding was a problem, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can remember this from previous videos I've made. This rounding here is typically a bad sign showing a bearish future. But then again, we see a complete reversal and a complete rejection of those previous trends today, going from 57 all the way in a couple of candles up to 69. And you guys can see now we are hanging out in the low 70s. And this is a really great place to level off. Again, as you guys can see, it looks as if it will possibly in the near future here consolidate between 69ish and 74ish, and that is great because when you really look at this and really have it charted, man, this would be a great next few days. And the reason why this would be a great next few days is because this would be stable. This would not be extremely volatile to where we're susceptible to a crash or whatnot. This wouldn't be extremely rapid growth that'll instantly come crashing down. It's very stable, it's very safe, and it's a great way for SHIB just to cool off a little bit, man. I feel like this cool-off period is very important for any asset out there. And when you look at CoinMarketCap here, you guys can see just about every asset like this has kind of had a cool-off period. You know, you look at Solana here as an example, and you guys can see that after it reaches this crazy peak here from all the way around to like $90 up to like 180 or whatnot, over the past 3 months, you guys can see it kind of lays low. It doesn't really do all that much. Again, you guys can see from the 8th up until the 30th, we got a little bit of a falling wedge, and then obviously that leads to a little bit of a breakout, kind of the same thing. It really consolidates between 200 and around 150 if you want it to be on the safe side. When you ignore a couple of these dips, it's really hanging out between 150 and 200, and that is fine. It's a long period of time, but in the end, this, I think, works for long-term stability, and that kind of goes the same thing with SHIB. I don't want this to double overnight because I feel like it would crash after that. I feel like we need a week or so just to level off and just to sort of accommodate all the new buyers, all the new volume, and prove to people that this can sustain itself without being an instant dump. Because the more you have these really volatile surges, the more likely you are to have those instant dumps. When you take a look at the relative strength index, you guys can see here over on screen, we're hanging out right about 50, which is great. We're hanging right here towards the middle, a little bit higher a couple of minutes ago, but it doesn't really matter, or a couple of hours ago. It doesn't really matter, though. In the end, we're hanging here around the middle, which gives us a lot of headroom to move up if we want, a lot of headroom to move down if need be, of course, and either way, we are kind of hanging out in the middle, which is good. So we could go to 74 without having any issues. We could head down to 68 or 67 without having issues, and overall, this looks like it is a great way to keep the price stable over the next few days. When we take a look, of course, at the MACD, you guys can see it is still in the sell zone to an extent, but it definitely does look as if it could be turning the corner kind of soon, and we could be back into the buying phase. So that is clearly possible. When we take a look at the Fibonacci retracement, of course, I know you guys always love it when I pull up the retracement. You guys can see here over on screen that we're going to take a look at the low and the high of the most recent run. So it's starting at 57 all the way up to the 75, and really this isn't giving us all this much information except for the fact that the 23.6% line, which you guys can see here on screen, looks to be a good level of potential support. So the 71 line here does appear to be an option. Again, like I said, my guess was that it would consolidate between 74 and 69. So if this line of the 23.6% line here at 71 is able to be sustained and we see some candles just hanging out above it, that would be pretty close to what I predicted would be the line of consolidation, the period of consolidation. So definitely not bad, and it is nice to see the retracement kind of back up my personal opinion a little bit. With that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for listening. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.